Hello everyone. So for today's workouts, we're gonna start with another warm-up from anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes on a speed of 3 and incline of 3. And then we're gonna start with some light, gentle stretching and move into our actual workout, which today we're gonna target a couple different muscle groups, all in the upper body. So we're gonna do about 20 minutes of upper body strength training. All right, so before we start our upper body workout, we're just gonna start with some light, gentle stretching. Just some overhead stretching, bringing your arms up over your head, interlock your fingers, moving your body from side to side, nice and slow. Really feel those sides open up. Breathing in and out, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Here we're just gonna do a nice twist. Holding those hips, really activating those shoulders while you twist. And you should feel that like a nice gentle pull, nice gentle tugging at both your shoulders. Now here we're gonna go up over our heads again, and we're going to grab the opposite elbow with the opposite hand and just give it a nice gentle tug, just stretching out those triceps. Nice little sway. I'm gonna switch arms. Same thing, nice and gentle. Now here, we're going to focus on our forward fold, just kind of opening up our lower back. So you're just gonna bend right over, just like so, and reach for the floor. You do not have to touch the floor, and if you need to, if it's too intense, feel free to give yourself a little bend in the knee, just to get rid of a little bit of that intensity. And if you can't touch the floor, no problem. Just reaching, reaching. You want to hold this for about 10 seconds. Perfect. So now here, I kind of like to just hold my elbows and kind of lock that in and just give myself a nice sway. Nice deep breath in. Stand up, arms overhead. Nice stretch. Give it another just rock side to side. Engaging that core. And exhale. And of course, if you wanted to kind of lengthen out that stretch, definitely feel free to do so. Okay, to start our upper body workout, we're going to start with chest presses that turn into chest flies. So we're gonna alternate chest press to chest flies for 10 with 10-second rests, and we're gonna do that 3 times. And then we're gonna go straight into overhead pullovers. All right, so I chose the 10-pound weights. So first, we're gonna start with the chest press. Going straight up, turning, and then coming down to a chest fly. Up, down. So again, we're gonna push up, pressing, turning towards us, out straight, back up, not allowing the weights to touch each other or the floor, back down. And we're gonna go for 10. Making sure that core is nice and engaged. Don't hit the floor like I did. All right, then giving yourself 10 seconds of rest. And of course you wanna make sure that you're modifying throughout the workout. So if you find that the weights that you chose were too heavy or if they were too light, feel free to stop and either grab heavier weights or lighter weights, whatever you need to do to kind of modify the workout for yourself. And when you're working on the chest press and the chest flies, you want to make sure that you're really engaging your core at the same time. So engaging your core while you're pressing away from your chest. And we're going to go back down for 10. Excellent. And then we're gonna rest for 10 seconds. Here I kind of just like to shake my arms out. Just give myself kind of a gentle shake. Get a sip of water, breathe, before we do our last set of 10. And back down for 10. Excellent. So here again, you might want to just shake out your arms, grab a sip of water before we go into the weighted pullovers. And again, you want to choose your weight if your arms feel a little bit more tired, if you feel like maybe the weight that you chose in the first workout was a little bit too much, maybe go with a smaller weight. You can modify the exercise any way that you see fit. Again, engaging the core. Two hands, we're going straight over the head, not allowing that weight to touch the floor. For 10. Slight bend in the elbows, bringing it down to about your midline. Excellent. And then rest for 10. So this push-up exercise is a little bit easier because it's an independent workout versus a combination. So we're only doing one workout. We're not incorporating two different muscle groups into one workout. So it's a little bit easier to follow. If for whatever reason the first combination was too difficult or you found yourself kind of struggling throughout the workout itself, you can always split them up. You could always do a set of chest flies and then a set of chest presses. It really just depends on you. I like to combine the two. So back down for 10. Making sure you engage your core. Awesome. 10 more seconds, kind of shake those shoulders out. Little shoulder rotation. And back down for 10. Awesome, great job. So for this portion of the workout, we're going to be doing 2 different types of back rows. First, we're gonna start with the original back row, and then we're gonna move into a more supine back row. And the only difference really is how you're holding the weights and the muscle groups that you're targeting. First, we're going to be targeting our lats, and then we'll be targeting our tris along with our lats with the supine. So you choose your weights, how you see fit, feel free to modify. So each weight in each hand, you want to have your feet shoulder width apart, and you're going to hinge at your hips leaning forward, just like this. Keep your elbows tucked in tight. With a nice bend, back nice and straight, shoulders pulled back, and then bend in the elbow. And we're going to pull back nice and tight for 10. Making sure that as you're hinging at your hips and the entire time that you're activating those muscles, that your core is engaged. You want to have your core engaged the entire time. So you're going to take a 10-second rest. I like to roll up my shoulders. And the same thing, we're going to reposition ourselves. So we're hinging at the hips, leaning forward, back nice and straight. Arms nice and straight, close together, elbows tucked in for 10. Slight bend in the knee. Perfect. So here, you want to take a 10-second rest, get a sip of water, shake yourself out, put your weights down, give yourself a second. And then right back into it. So hinging at the hips, forward, back straight, shoulders out, shoulders nice and up, elbows tucked. Excellent. So that's just the original back row. So now we're going to do the same exact thing, only we're going to tuck our elbows in nice and tight to our waist, and we're going to put our hands in the supine position. So that our palms are going to be facing out, and we're going to drive up the same way. Feet in the same position, shoulder width apart. Again, hinging at the hips, back nice and straight, shoulders nice and strong. Core engaged, elbows tucked in for 10. Excellent. Give yourself 10 seconds. Stretch out your arms, roll your shoulders. And then back for 10. Slight bend in the knee, hinging at the hips, core engaged, shoulders strong. Excellent. So now here, you should be really feeling that nice and tight in your back, a little bit in your thighs. Give yourself 10 seconds. And then back into position. Slight bend, hinge at the hips, shoulders nice and strong, back nice and straight for 10. So for the last portion of our workout, we're going to work on a plank as well as bear crawls. So for whatever reason, if you need to modify, definitely feel free to do so. If you need to rest on your knees, definitely do that. If you're able to do the bear crawl and the plank, then feel free to follow along as well. So we're going to start with our plank. So getting into a tabletop position, curling our toes into the mat, and then lifting off with our toes. Engaging our core, making sure that our hands are level with our shoulders, shoulders hovering right over our hands, engaging the core, and we're gonna hold for 15 seconds. Perfect. Now you can give yourself just 10 seconds to kind of recuperate from that. And then we're going to go back for another 15. Again, shoulders right over your hands, curling your toes into the mat, lifting off, straightening yourself out, and then you're going to hold for 15. Excellent. Giving yourself 10 seconds, stretching out, shaking out your arms, and then we're going to hold our last one for another 15 seconds. All right, so same position, making sure that you really engage your core and hold. Slight bend in the elbow, not too much. You want to have a nice strong arm. Perfect. Excellent. So if you need to take more time, if you need to take more than 10 seconds, definitely feel free to do so. You can always stop or pause the video and come back to it whenever you need to. If you need to modify, if you need to stop to get a drink of water, now would be the time to do that. Even check in with your heart rate, see where you're at. Trying to be mindful of your heart rate and what zone that you're potentially in. And seeing if you need to modify that as well. If you need to come down a little bit, if you need to work a little harder to get you a little bit higher. Just really checking in with yourself to see where you're at. So for the bear crawl, it's very similar to the plank position, only we're going to be in a more bent shape. So we're going to have our knees bent and kind of tucked towards our abdomen. So coming to a tabletop position, nice flat back, curling those toes into the mat, and then lifting off, but not straightening out our legs. And we're going to hold that for 10 seconds. And then down. Now for the next portion of the bear crawl, what we're going to do is we're going to walk. So making sure that your back is still super straight and that you're staying in the same position. You're going to walk to the end of your mat and then back up to the front of it. So it should look like this. Curls toned, your toes are curled, lifting off into that bear position, and then walking back. And then walking forward. And you're going to do that for 3. Perfect. And lastly, to end it, we're just going to do another round of the bear crawl, but we're going to hold it. So we're going to hold that for 15 seconds. So tabletop, nice flat back, toes curled into the mat, and then lift. Make sure that your core is nice and engaged. You can engage your quads as well, nice and tight. Excellent. So to go ahead and end off the workout, you can kind of just like shake out all your limbs. You want to shake out your arms, stand up, shake out your legs, give yourself a nice breath. For this portion, I would probably do another gentle stretch for about 3 to 5 minutes. But of course, you can modify the workout however you see.